Okay, hi again. We're talking about using Greek and Latin word parts as a way of attacking vocabulary that we run into in our reading, that words that we don't know, that we want to play with, that we want to make guesses about. All right, if you're able to look at the handout from today's class called Roots and Affixes, there are three different word parts, little pieces of words that we can identify. The first one you can see on your handout is called a prefix. Pre itself is Latin, I believe, word part that means before. So fix is to attach. If I'm attaching something before the rest of the word, it's a prefix. Prefixes get added to the beginning of other words in order to affect the meaning. A suffix comes at the end of the word. Suff is a Latin maybe word part that means end or added to. So suffix is something that is attached or added to the end of another word to affect the meaning of it. And then the third word part that we're going to talk about is a root. A root can go anywhere in a word, and roots can be attached to one another in any order to create new words or to affect words. Okay, so let's look at some examples, first of all, of some prefixes. So the first example on your page is the prefix a, or an. Whether the prefix is a or whether it's an depends on the spelling of the word. We'll see. Okay, the word that depends on the spelling of the word to which we're attaching this prefix. So a or an as a prefix means without, as in not having, right? If I'm without something, I don't have it. So if I look, for example, at the first example word there, anarchy, arch, A-R-C-H, is a root that means government or rule. Government or rule. So if I am in an anarchy, I attach an to arch. Anarchy, that means I'm without rules or without a government. That's what an anarchy is. No rules, no government, just everybody for him or herself. Okay, so that's an example. The next prefix that I have an example here for, take a look, a couple down, bi, B-I. B-I is, I think, a Greek root that means two. So if I attach that to the word root cycle, cycle means wheel or circle, so a bicycle is two wheels. A tri means three, so a tricycle would mean three wheels. Uni, U-N-I, means one, so a unicycle would mean one wheel. Okay? All right, those are examples of prefixes. Let's think about suffixes for a moment. Suffixes, remember, come at the end of a word and affect the meaning of it. So one important example I have on your handout is the suffix ist, I-S-T. I-S-T is a suffix. If it's attached to the end of another word, it means a person who, someone who, one who. So an artist is a person who or one who is involved with art. Or a dentist, D-E-N-T, is a word root, that means teeth, having to do with teeth. So a dentist is one who or a person who deals with teeth. A cartoonist, this is in the wrong place on your handout, is a person who deals with cartoons. All right, so IST, very common, very helpful suffix. The next suffix that we want to look at is ick, I-C. Ick as a suffix means like or having the nature of. So metallic, metal, ick, metallic, is something that has the nature of or is like metal. Acidic is something that has the nature of or is like acid. Okay, so ist and ick are two really important, really helpful suffixes. Now, there are a bunch of roots. I'm just going to name a couple of them. Actually, I'm not going to name a couple. I'm going to show you a list. Or I'm going to tell you where a list is. So if you Google these words, this isn't a website, just Google these words, Greek and Latin roots, MSU. Greek and Latin roots, MSU. Okay, if you Google that, you'll come to a website, Greek and Latin roots.msu. MSU is Michigan State University, and they have there at that website 3 very long lists. One is of roots, and if you scroll to the bottom of that, you can click on a link, and that will take you to another list of prefixes. And if you scroll to the bottom of that list, there'll be a link that will take you to another list of suffixes. So we're not going to look at that right now because I don't know how to do that. Look at that website in a video. But if you check that out, and we will have a class lesson at some point where we practice looking at that website. If you look at that website, you'll find huge long lists of roots and prefixes and suffixes. They have the definitions for each of them, and there are some example words. But let's just think of a couple ourselves. Like we mentioned cycle. Cycle means wheel. I mentioned arch, A-R-C-H. That means government. But another important root is bio, B-I-O. Bio means life, and another important root is ology, or olog, O-L-O-G, or O-L-O-G-Y. Okay, so we have bio, or ology, or olog. So bio means life, olog means study of, the study of. So if we have biology, it means the study of life. Psych, P-H-Y-C-H, is a Greek root that means having to do with the mind. Psychology is the study of the mind. Another really common and important root is trans. Trans, T-R-A-N-S, means across. And another one is port, P-O-R-T, which means to carry or to move. So if I transport something, if I transport it, I carry it, like transport something from one building to another, or transportation, carrying stuff from one place to another. Okay, so there are gazillions of roots like this, and you can see a lot of them and a lot of examples on that website I told you about. Now, another really important website, and this one we can use to learn. So don't go to these lists and just try to memorize them, because that's like looking up a word in a dictionary. It's just going to go into our short-term memory. What we want to do is play games with it to learn, play games to learn these suffixes and prefixes and roots. So go to this website or just Google the words vocabtest.com. That's not a website. Just Google the words vocabtest.com. You'll see brightly colored boxes. Scroll down to the big main pink box. About halfway through that box, there's a link that says Greek and Latin word parts or roots, Greek and Latin prefixes, suffixes, says something like that. Click on there, and there are some games that you can play in order to learn these word parts. Okay, that's the best way to do it. We'll talk about those in another lesson, probably just a video lesson. Probably just a class lesson that we do on Zoom. because I need to be able to show you those websites, and I don't know how to do that on the video. All right, so that's it for today. We're going to try to use that game website to try to learn begin to learn as many Greek and Latin word parts as we can. All right? Okay, so that's our strategy for today. One more strategy coming up next class. Okay, see ya. Bye.